Well, hello there, everybody. Man, just kind of just mellowing out to some great soul music. Great late Rick Hendricks is a good guy. So, hello, everybody. Let me just speak favor over everybody. Favor means we are empowered to prosper, and we are, my friends. And BOSTO and good health. Happy birthday if you have one, and put a smile on your face. It's the best way to keep the muscles firm. You'll appreciate that when you enter into, the stage of life that we hopefully all get to achieve. And that's looking back on the memories and making some new ones. So welcome, everybody. So good to see you. Had a great weekend. I'll tell you about it here in a second. Just want to say hello to all the moderators. Hey, Nina, how you feeling, dear? Thank you for your service, and as Miss Julianne Payne says, for your gifts and talents. And Julianne, we love you so much. So, hello, let's see, Susie Q. Lavera, good to see you. Hey, Gilbert, Peter, put a smile on your face, brother, and whatever research you're doing, get into it. Hey, Deborah Truex, how you doing? Bonnie and Wise April Fool, how you doing? Shannon, good to see you. Gaia, good to see you. So what's happening in y'all's world? Hey, John Price, good to see you as well. So for myself, hey, Pamela, good to see you. Favor everyone. Yeah, gotta have favor. Hey, Carol, good to see you as well. Just seeing everyone in the chat. So good to see everyone here. I'll turn off the soul music in the background. Yeah, I really dig soul music, man. I really do. It's grew up with it, and it's like really cool. And diversity, eclecticness in your appetites and your passions are always healthy. So what's going on? Hey, Troy, good to see you as well. I spent my weekend pretty much locked in my office, and really got into some serious research. Wow. My wife literally didn't see me that much at all. I mean, I guess I spent, I don't know, at least 10, 11 hours each day. So I don't know, about 22 hours, even counting this morning. And I won't talk about much on this, not on YouTube. YouTube is already censoring, and they admitted this. They are, what was the word they said? They said that they would discriminate against white heterosexual males. And please check your subscription, everybody. I guess, I don't know, I've had people write me this weekend saying they went and they found out that they weren't subscribed. So whatever that is all about, I'm not really sure. But hey, if you're not a subscriber, subscribe. Appreciate it. It's a good place here. We don't have an agenda. We learn. We seek knowledge, trying to figure out how to move through this fugue that we call life. And yeah, it's weird. So tomorrow, a second look with Miss Trina Phoenix. And for those of you who are really suffering illnesses, from what I hear, we just speak healing over you. The body is a remarkable thing. That's why I tell you, if you learn to really lay hands on yourself, really love your body, speak to your body spirit. Your body has a spirit, and it really does. Um, it's it perceives things from a different lens than what you do. Your body sees things from a limited perspective. It knows that its return will be back from where it came, the earth itself. It has a consciousness, it has a spirit about it. And, when you depart from it and it departs from its cellular makeup, it goes back into the four elements. So at least that's what I see. Everyone sees it everywhere else. Folks, I have really been doing some really deep research. I heard enough, and I finally told my wife, and she supported me 100% in it. I said, I'm going to have to go down the rabbit hole. I'm going to have to do a deep dive. And so literally I closed my study and office off, and didn't really come out except, for the few necessities. And I'm debating go this Thursday on the Steiger perspective. I will go over everything I'm talking about here. I'm thinking about doing possibly a private meeting for those who are really into this. You should be. Um, this is a document everybody should have. He says, can you see that, please? How about holding it back, Wayne? There we go. It is, as you can see, this one is well marked up with notes, research. It has probably, you could spend a week doing just the follow-up on the references in this. And this is the lawsuit that was filed in the United States and also subsequently with the European Medicines Agency. And I won't talk much about it here. We like the fact that we can meet and discuss gnosis here, knowledge. But I am thinking about doing a private meeting on this. And if you're interested, just email me. I'll share this document with you. I'll share you my notes. And the 20th, I've been invited on with the Andromeda 7 group. And, we're coming into this alignment, the solstice. And we really need it, folks. I'll just say this before we get into this material. I haven't been able to sleep too much because the implications about what's going on, it's A, unthinkable, B, absolutely unimaginable, and 3, probably the most scariest thing I have uncovered, along with others. There's others who have discovered this as well. This is such a wow. Listen, I don't know if you pray. I don't know if you meditate. I don't know how you approach higher consciousness or beings. But if there is ever a time to call in a favor, if they owe it to you, this is the time. We are literally, I have seen so many movies that depicted this. We are literally on the eve of something that's going to either be the miraculous or the absolute cataclysmic self-inflicted event Homo sapiens have ever done to themselves. That's all I'm going to say about this. But if you're interested in doing a private meeting, just let me know. Yeah, Barry McGuire, Brian. Yeah, I think about Barry all the time. Had a chance to really meet him. Y'all know the story. I mean, back in the days when they had coffee houses, and yeah, it's where you used to be able to go, and it was the modern day version of what the amphitheaters were 2,000 years ago. Coffee houses used to be where you could go and hear folk music, and discuss topics, politics, philosophy, religion, and do it in such an environment that was non-threatening. And if everyone dug it, they clapped on it, and if you didn't dig it, well, you didn't get no clap. So I just heard myself on that. You didn't get any applause, but Yeah. Oh, yes, 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 yes. So, hey, cheers, everyone. Waffle House jukeboxes. Hey, hey, John, I can, yeah. I often think of the song Me and Mrs. Jones. Kind of recalls me back to that time. Hey, David Castle, how you doing? Good to see you, buddy. Hey, Marsha, good to see you. Wrapping up orders to mail out. Yeah, if you're going to do it, do it. Yes, Lynn did the same thing. So, seriously, I won't talk anymore about it. Not even going to mention it because the AI bots are everywhere and they're just looking for it. And, but this is something that you need to know about. You really do. You really, 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 really need to know this. I don't know how other to say it. Then you really, really need to know this. So, all right. So on with our new book, and we're um, moving forward, preoccupied but present. That's cute. I like that. Hey, Vatos, good to see you. I think there was someone else, Teen Deer, I think, from New Zealand. Good to see you. Jenny, just email me. If you email me, I might do this later today. Yeah, everybody needs this. I mean, let me say it again. Let me rewind the tape. You really, 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 really need to know this. You really do. Um, and for those of you who just experienced the time warp, it's trying to tell you something because yeah. So anyway, Gossa says, I think we're all convinced. Yeah, yeah. I mean, yeah, it's just our code, We could do sign language, but they'll figure that one out. So living in between worlds. Jody says she left Colorado to Arizona. Yeah. If it just wasn't so hot down there, as I tell Trina all the time, man, in the summertime, woo. My genealogy goes back to uh, Britain. I mean, I'm Welsh, Scottish, English, 10% Italian, German. Yeah. So I wasn't made for that hot weather. But anyway, there's things I could talk about is on that subject, but hey, Jennifer, how are you, my dear? Good to see you. So glad to see you. So anyway, all right. So let's go. Telling you, when you get into this, I keep digressing. I know, and I'm 12 minutes into this, folks. This is the stuff that messes with you. It messes with you because when you really do peek behind the curtain, man, you want to run. Forrest, run, run, run. Yeah, we need to be running, Forrest. I just don't know running where. And saw a movie, when was it? A couple weeks ago. Nicolas Cage, I think it was called The Humanity Bureau. So many other shows out there that is mimicking what, yeah, it's, oh, yeah. It does. It gets into your, and if you're an empath, an intuitive empath, man, this is the kind of stuff that saturates your spirit being. It's just that intense. And the more you go down the rabbit hole, the more this is a presence. This is an entity. I don't think it's human. I think it's very, very much non-human, but holy crap. Yeah, that's all I got to say. So, shall we continue? Ellen, problem sleeping? Yeah, I know that feeling. My wife told me to get up and literally had to go sleep on the couch because just tossing and turning, tossing and turning. And yeah, so anyway, there we be. So we got a cool book, and it's a short one. It's a great read, and I just thought I'd share it because we really need something to take our focus and really get into something that is truly, I think, has validity to the roots of our existence. Um, So this is kind of taken from the perspective of I guess what you would call an off-worlder. Probably the best way to say it. Yeah, an off-worlder. And it's free if you want it. It's not that long of a read, as you see. It's about 44 pages. Um, and I like how this starts right off from the very get-go. This is a historical document, not a religious document, which depicts the first-hand experience of a man who lived during the era of ancient Egypt. I could dig having a conversation with someone who lived in ancient Egypt. I mean, if you believe in the concept of, infinity, the ever-present dog chasing its tail, reincarnation, then apparently many of us have lived probably back then ourselves. So it would be good to maybe have someone to talk to who could stir some memories. I often said this, though. I'd want to talk to the people, the slaves, not the ones who said they were kings and queens. Because if you could have talked to the slave, you'd really get the real gist of what was really happening on the streets. You know what I mean? Says, I urge you to read the document more than once since it may leave you confused after the first read. I always like that. It's like going into a good, mystery movie, whodunit. There are many hidden messages within the document that may become apparent after reading it several times. You do that. I did that with the forbidden religion, and that'll open up some cabinets for you. Please remember, I'm just the messenger. My task is to transport this information from point A to point B and eventually to point Z through you. True awareness and pure consciousness will eliminate myths such as the current situation and all the other nonsense that we see out there going in. All these words are keywords. That's why I am not speaking them. Basically, we know that there is political unrest, disturbing social, political, and economic issues throughout the world. The world needs a major cleanse as soon as possible. I'd agree with that. It's time to wake up and take action. It is important for me to emphasize that the person who created this document did so under the instructions of whoever TLS is. He is personally against the publication of this document at this time, in addition to any other documents related to him or his work. Is this a move in or a move out? I'm not sure. One of the many reasons that he is against publishing his information as opposed to TLS is because he believes that people are not ready yet. How many times have we heard that? Especially without revealing the codes. Okay. He also knows and understands that the people who are mentioned in this document who worked with him or close to him will most likely realize his identity. Well, that's the problem once you get out on the internet. Yeah. It is his wish for them not to reveal his identity and to remain anonymous. I don't have a problem with that. This man possesses a vast amount of valuable information that could be critically useful for us all. The only reason I was given this honorable task is due to the fact that he refused to publish it himself, and he exercised his freedom of choice not to cooperate with TLS in this specific matter. You see, goes to show you, your very best friend, you can have an agreement, but still be very good friends. Nothing wrong in disagreeing. Just don't, get all wrapped around the axle about it. It is my wish and hope that within time, I will be able to convince him to come forward and reveal the documents, the information, and the codes that are in his possession and in the possession of TLS. Well, all right, so we know codes exist in multiple people in order to share it with the masses. They never want to share it with the masses. That sucks, huh? Because you and I are the masses. I am respectfully requesting from each and every individual who is aware of his identity to respect his wishes of preserving his anonymity for now, so we shall have a better chance of introducing him to reveal more information to the public in the future. I like intrigue, don't you? I like a good mystery. Actually, I really like mysteries. I'm finding that this realm is probably one of the greatest mysteries that I have been on. It's truly like the game Clue. You know, who was the doctor with the pipe? Yeah, the whole bit. In addition, I would like to use the opportunity to implore TLS and my dear friend, the creator of this document, to come forward and exercise full transparency and reveal any and all information, past, present, and future, for our sakes and for the sake of the greater good. It all began on June 9th, 2018. Well, where were you on June 9th, 2018? I know where I was at. I was approached by a man who was, and still is, quite close to me. This man had, and still has, unbelievable depths of experience and knowledge. Over the last 2 years, he has given me access to very valuable information. Some of this information includes his affiliation with a very powerful undercover organization. Oh, I like those secret societies, His firsthand knowledge of the spirit world, okay. His firsthand knowledge and experience with extraterrestrial life. His memories of reincarnations from the distant past, such as ancient Egypt. His firsthand knowledge of the mysticism and construction of the pyramids, and much more that will be elaborated on in the following document. Got my interest. Seriously, I think this is rather very cool. All right. Initially, I had doubts, and rightfully so. Although the information shared was extraordinary and quite unbelievable, much of it made sense to me due to my foundation of knowledge that I had cultivated over the years. Despite the fact that the information made somewhat logical sense to me, it was still extremely difficult to believe and fully comprehend. Man, they've already got me hooked, all right? Just reel me in, It's like, all right, I want to know, what are you talking about? I mean, listen, we've talked about this. We may even talk about this tomorrow in a second look. Imagine, the ability to truly access all your past lives, and I believe we can access all of our future lives. It's the only way it would really be able to work. Give thanks for your experience of this realm. You might be surprised if you say thank you, who will say you're welcome. It all sounded like a fairy tale to me until February 6, 2020. Okay, now we're talking. On that evening, I had a firsthand experience that confirmed and validated all the information that he has blessed me with over the past 2 years. I have spoken to and given orders by a very respectable man in the TLS, the Light System Organization. All right, so that's what TLS stands for, who is known to me as Rabbi I don't know, AA. Please note that the TLS has nothing to do with religion. All right, I can dig that. The nature of the TLS organization, which is an underground organization that has been in existence for thousands of years, as well as the background of Rabbi AA, will be addressed and detailed in the following document that is before you. The man who has blessed me with the process of receiving such valuable information has been and always will be a big part of my journey into this new world of personal awareness. The information contained in the document that you are about to read is a true and accurate account of the beginning of his journey into the spirit world in this reincarnation, his memories from a very important past reincarnation in ancient Egypt, his knowledge and wisdom of the sacred mysticism of the pyramid, and as well as his knowledge of the new age in which humanity is heading towards. Okay. Well, I'd like to hear it. It is his request that he would like to remain anonymous. Please note that all of the names, with the exception of my own, has been changed in order to protect the innocent. Remember that? Of the man who wrote the document. I have been given permission to reveal my affiliation in this man's past reincarnation in ancient Egypt and the mysticism and construction of the pyramids. Now, I've read this ahead, so, I'm having fun with this, and I hope you are too. But if this is true, if we are somehow either trapped here or we truly don't understand that there is no other place to go when we pass to the other side than here. The term earthlings means that which is of spirit is of earth. So if we are of the earth, if our spirits are of the earth, then this is reality. Past, present, future. And it would only seem that, as I had in one of my fitful little lucid dreams, that, well, many of us will return back into this your next life very quickly after your passing. Some will take millennia. Interesting. So you could say, well, in 100 years, I will be whatever your age will be. Now, logic and reality tells us that you most likely won't be in your body. But actually, you very well may be in your body. It may be a new version of you. So in 100 years, who knows? Something to think about. I believe that he, along with the TLS organization, have blessed me with the opportunity to publish this document for several reasons. First and foremost, I believe that the information in this document will provide whoever reads it access to a new level of awareness and consciousness that will be necessary in the near future. Well, this is a very recent document, just a couple of months old. For reasons that will be addressed in the document. Secondly, it is my understanding that I am being prepared to publish a very important and high vibrational book, also written by this man, called Rays of Light, Raw. Rays of Light is an 864-page book filled with a vast amount of insights and wisdom about the true nature of the universe that we live in. More information regarding Rays of Light will be addressed in a limited detail in the following document that you have before you. The third reason I believe that I have been chosen to publish this document is because I happen to be part of the reincarnation that this man remembers, with in-depth details from the year 1312 BC, which corresponds to the time of the pharaohs in ancient Egypt. Lastly, I understand that he would like to remain anonymous in order to avoid dealing with the many people who may perceive him as insane. Hey, I am not insane. My mother had me tested. Literally. Yes. Those of you who watched the video I did about my life, you'll know what I mean by that. So he made it very clear that although he is aware that the information he holds is quite valuable and will play a big role in raising and changing the vibration of the collective consciousness here on Earth, he would rather let it all be exposed either by somebody else or after his death in order not to have to deal with the consequences, both positive and negative, of revealing such information. For the reasons I have stated before, the probably many other reasons that I am not aware of, I was asked to be that somebody else, the conduit. Hey, everyone's got a place, everyone's got a role. Those who are ready to receive this information will not just believe, but they will know that this information in this document is absolutely true. My intention of publishing this document is not to persuade the reader of the validity of this document. My intention is to simply plant the very necessary seeds of knowledge and awareness that I am sure will sprout and flourish when humanity as a whole is ready. I'm aware that many may call me a fraud, and that's okay. I hope it is clear at this point that I don't see publishing this document as a choice. I understand the strength it holds in energetically raising the vibration and level of awareness of humanity, which is why I see it as an absolute obligation, regardless of how some may perceive me as a result of doing so. I don't believe that I have the right to hold back such valuable information out of the fear that others may look at me differently. My experiences over the past 2 years have allowed me to understand that personal sacrifices must be made in order to bring humanity to a new level of awareness. And after all, I feel that it is my purpose and my destiny here on earth. Such sacrifices are the reason why I live. I would have no reason to be here if I was not aligned with my purpose and my destiny. It is my belief that if you are currently reading this, although you may not be ready to accept the information that you are about to read, you are most definitely ready to receive it. Otherwise, it would not have come into your possession to begin with. I ask you to read the following information with not just an open mind, but most importantly, with an open heart. Allow yourself to step out of the mind and logic and into the heart and love. Allow it to speak to your spirit and resonate with your soul. I wish us all the best of luck in our journey of reaching a higher level of awareness, a journey filled with light, peace, and love. May this information play a role in helping us unite as one, and most importantly, may it bring us one step closer to true bliss and the age of love. Jason Yosef Shurka. Intrigued? Yeah, I am. The Pyramid Code. Written by Anonymous. So as you can see, we're going to go into the journey of the spirit world. Who is the light system? What's that organization? Rays of Light. Then we get into the background of the story, and then we begin on the journey. Introduction. Give me 1 second here. Not that way. This way, please. There we go. I think I'll have some tea. How is everyone doing? Are you enjoying this? I love these kind of stories, folks. And who knows what type of presents we're going to find inside. Okay. Finally, after a long period of time, I was permitted by my superiors to document my first incarnation and the reincarnation of my soul family from the year 2448, according to the Hebrew calendar, 1312 BC, according to the Gregorian calendar. As always permission from my superior at the light system always comes with more conditions. This time, the condition was that in addition to documenting my first incarnation, I must also write about the pyramid code, knowledge, science, and mysticism of the pyramids, to the best of my ability without revealing the operational codes. It's difficult for me to even believe that this is happening. And it's even more difficult to understand why they would require this without the code. I don't understand the logic of writing this without the code. After all, the code would reveal the true essence of the information that exists within this document and would allow the reader to gain an immense amount of sacred wisdom, knowledge, and information. Regardless, Rabbi I has demanded that I write it without the codes, which is the reason why I'm going to do so, even though I don't understand the reason behind it. Although I don't understand the reason for doing so, I am still grateful for the opportunity. I will do my best to document my reincarnations, and I will try to explain the essence of the pyramid code with the hope that my memory does not betray me. First, I will begin with my personal story of my first incarnation regarding 2448. However, it is my duty to briefly explain what had transpired in my life over the last few years since January 29th, 2010 until today. For a reason unknown to me, my journey began on January 29th, 2010 into the spirit world. It is a journey that is unexplainable and very confusing to me, especially at that stage of my life. At the time, I was a normal person who was married with children, a secular Jew who was quite far from the awareness of the spirit world. I wouldn't have defined myself as an atheist, a high priest, nor a pope. At most, I was a secular and traditional Jewish man. Different humans, souls, beings, and grand spirits stormed through my life without any advance notice. They became the guides of my path in the beginning of my spiritual journey. I did not understand what was happening at the time. I was lured into a whole different world, and due to my curiosity, my whole life turned upside down. What did it do to the cat? Exactly. I was clueless as to the process they were putting me through, and eventually I became part of an incredible, secretive, worldwide spiritual organization. I was trained and accepted into the organization relatively quick, although I never became an official member. The most notable person at the time was Rabbi AA, who was actually the chief spiritual leader. There were hundreds, if not thousands, of people who worked under his supervision. Above him, according to my limited understanding, was a being that I know from my current reincarnation as Adam. I first met him when I was 28 years old in New York. Despite his old age and the fact that he could actually be my grandfather, our connection was undeniable. We became great friends relatively quickly, and through our relationship, my life was transformed. Although he lived in Israel, he kept in close contact until his death in 2002. Adam reappeared into my life in 2010 through a dream which changed my life forever. He is actually the one who introduced me to Rabbi AA and eventually to the TLS organization. The TLS system is an undercover organization with branches in every major city around the world, which has been in existence for thousands of years. This is the first time in history that information about the TLS is being published. Permission from TLS has been granted in advance. The organization is made up of roughly 7,000 initiated agents, some of which are very well-known people in the world today. Not all initiate agents are human. Well, that'll perk you up. Seriously, okay. I like this group. The organization is comprised of all races, religions, genders, and ages. TLS performs both physical and energetic spiritual tasks in every subject, plane, dimension, and geographical location in the universe, not just Earth. The task is most cases are complex group operation. However, there were instances where I was sent on a mission without any backup or support. TLS has possession of extremely high and powerful technology that defies all the laws of physics that is publicly known to modern science. The ultimate goal of the organization is to bring humanity as a whole to a whole new level of awareness and consciousness. We could use it. TLS became my family and my home. I began to live a double life, and most of my missions and activities have been done in secret. Everything I learned and all that I was doing was kept a secret from everyone, including my closest friends, my wife, and my children. As time went by, I received more knowledge, learned more, and understood more as I performed strange and at times dangerous roles and missions to this very day. The organization is comprised of people who work in the physical realm and people such as myself who have been recruited to missions of spiritual nature. I understand the Vatican has a similar, I also understand so does the CIA. Rays of light. I have documented countless meetings with Rabbi AA and the people of the TLS, and over time, these documents have been compiled into a printed book known as Rays of Light. The book contains a wide range of information and wisdom covering many topics. It also contains a considerable amount of personal information about myself, as well as a number of other people very close to me, including my wife and my family. Due to the sensitive and personal information that exists within Rays of Light, I am hesitant to publish the book. Although all the members of TLS, including Rabbi AA, have pushed me to do so countless times. Despite my hesitation and objection to publish the book, it was made clear to me that the book will eventually be published for the masses. At this point, I just prefer that it is published after my death. Honestly, I do not want to deal with all the questions, as well as the great pressure that will come my way after the book is published. The book, too, is encrypted with a code that is known to very few. The code of Rays of Light is much less complicated and easier to understand than the pyramid code. Without the code, a normal person will not be able to derive all the insights and conclusions contained within the book. Therefore, I don't see a purpose to publish the book without its encrypted code. Although I am sure that the book without the code may help a lot of people, I'm obligated to protect myself, those close to me, and my loved ones. I am afraid that the information in the book may harm myself along with those close to me. I am afraid that the information in the book may harm myself along with those close to me. I am confident that in the not so distant future, the universe and the earth in particular will gain new insights and a new level of awareness. This new level of awareness will pertain to nature and the universe in general. Once this new level of awareness is reached, it will allow everyone to discover the code of this book along with many other books that are based on codes, such as the Torah, the Zohar. In the meantime, I do not see a reason to release information that, in my eyes, is incomplete. Therefore, I will hold off on releasing rays of light until I have permission to publish it with the codes. My orders. On February 6, 2020, I received clear instructions as part of my assignment to document what is currently ahead of you. I write with an excited yet heavy heart. I have mixed feelings. On the one hand, I'm very happy and grateful for the opportunity to document my first incarnation. But on the other hand, I don't understand why I must write the essence of the pyramid code along with it. As I said earlier, I feel that it is meaningless without the code and may be very difficult to understand. I know that one day the code will be revealed and it will be part of the collective consciousness and awareness of the entire universe. So, why not record and write it then? Why today? I don't understand. This is going to be very difficult and will require a great deal of concentration. But of course, as part of the system, I will comply since I have been ordered to do so by Rabbi AA. I'm not sure if at the end of writing this, I will be willing to share what is written with anybody, even those who are close to me. I will make the decision when this is finished. As always, TLS gave me the right to choose whether or not I would like to publish it. Personally, I prefer for it to be published after my death and have a feeling that this mission will someday fall on my dear friend, Jason. Jason, I hope thou be strong. Over the years, I have learned that life is an enduring adventure that is infinite with no beginning or end. I have learned that life is actually an internal beingness. I like that. A wonderful beingness, one that occurs through different consciousness and different souls while remaining one eternal soul. I have ever learned and experienced the language of the spirit world. I learned what spirit and energy truly are. I was privileged to experience true and unconditional love. I am waiting for the end of the age of light, the era that we are currently in today, and for the beginning of the age of love, which is our collective destiny. This may even occur in our current reincarnation. Throughout the rest of this document, I will do my best to preserve Rabbi AA's authentic style of language, as it is documented in the rays of light. My first incarnation. In my current reincarnation, I am Moshe, the son of Revka. This is my 69th reincarnation since I have come to this earth. I was, and still am, on my journey towards my endless destiny. In my first incarnation, and my longest one, I was born on the 1st of Teshri, in the year 2400, according to the Hebrew calendar, or in the year 1360 BC, according to the Gregorian calendar. And I left this world at the age of 939 years old on the 9th of Av in the year 3339, or 421 BC, according to the Gregorian calendar. During the destruction of the first holy temple, I was the son of two Hebrew slaves, Rena and Amram. We were all part of the Hebrew slaves who were meant to serve the pharaohs at the time. I was born during the ruling of the last pharaoh in the dynasty that lasted for over 1,000 years in Egypt. The pharaohs ruled all of Africa and a few other parts of the world for a very long time. I spent most of my life in the Holy Land, Israel, after leaving with all the Hebrews during the Exodus, also known as the period of great confusion. I am using the word Hebrews because we were not yet known as Jews. We only became Jews when we were given the Torah, immediately following the event at Mount Sinai when the Hebrews received the Torah. This term, Yohad, which means Jewish in Hebrew, came into being for the first time in the era of the kingdom of Yehodah in the year 3174, according to the Hebrew calendar, which is the year 586 BC. I will elaborate further on this later on. It is important to note that we were all circumcised after birth. The pharaohs, who were also known as the sons of God, or phostosol, in the language of the pharaohs, was born circumcised. Now, I'm not sure how that happens, but it's bad enough coming in through the portal as it is, but okay. They symbolize perfection in our eyes, and the Pharaoh was a god in the eyes of the nation. The word Pharaoh is in the pharaonic language actually means the house of the divine. They came from heaven. The pharaohs came to our world from another star, planet. They were sent here to control and change the earth and its inhabitants. The nation looked at them as the sons of God, also known as photosol. Over time, the males of the pharaonic race started having children with the human females on earth, which is what caused the pharaonic race to lose their spiritual power and pure essence. Their offspring was weakened, and they lost their initial powers, their destiny, and their purpose. Due to the physically rooted and primal influence of the humans on earth, the pharaohs, also known as the sons of God, Photosol, lost the intimate connection with their inner soul, which resulted in the demise of their rule over earth. Due to these inter-race interactions, shortly after the Exodus, the Great Confusion, the ruling of the Fatzol was no more. They came here with incredible technological knowledge and information that gave them the power to rule and build all over the world. For example, the pyramids. The original Fatosol were aliens who had high energetic powers, physical, spiritual, and healing energies. They were also able to call upon and physically speak with animals and higher powers. Rulers such as the pharaohs and the high priest had the power and knowledge to move between different galaxies with each spaceship or thought through meditation and the power of thought. This knowledge and power became diluted over time and was, for the most part, eventually lost. They operated their spaceships through the use of the energy from the sun, magnets, lasers, and the power of thought. Growing up. As I said earlier, I was the child of a Hebrew slave. At the age of 8 years old, the high priest, Jason, in my current reincarnation, took me to the Pharaoh's palace against my will to work under him in the holy temple of the palace, the house of the divine of the Pharaohs. I grew up there, and I was trained to be a minor priest. Later in my life, after my marriage, I transitioned into the role of the high priest in Israel. I will elaborate on this role later. The name of the high priest was Photahotep. Phata meaning God, Hotep meaning priest. Photahotep was the younger brother of the Pharaoh Vicky in my current reincarnation. It truly amazes me that I remember a few words from that time, but I don't remember the language itself. I wonder what is the reason for this and who is responsible for that. My name changed from Maniksham, Manicham, sorry, I've got that one, my Hebrew name at the time, to Mano, or more accurately, Manohatap, the minor priest. Manohatap was raised in the royal palace under the high priest in the holy temple of the pharaohs. Manatop lived in the holy temple from the age of 8 years old to the age of 49 years old. During the time period of the Great Confusion, the Exodus, in the year 2448, Manatop took advantage of the opportunity and united with his father, his wife, Gamma, Mina in my current reincarnation, and the Hebrews, and they fled to the Holy Land. My life as Manhattanatop was good, interesting, and full, but I was lonely and sad at the same time. I turned from being a Hebrew slave to a minor priest. Later on, my name changed in the Holy Land to Sarah, the high priest. I became the high priest in the Holy Temple of Israel with wide knowledge of the pharaonic era and the secrets and mysticisms of the pharaohs. The high priest, Jason, was very fond of me, and contrary to customary tradition at the time, he turned me from a Hebrew slave to a student of his. Even more inconsistent with the customs, the Pharaoh trained me to become a priest. The priesthood provided me with an abundance of information and supernatural powers that I acquired from the high priest, which helped me in my line of work till that day. I died in the holy temple. The consecration, the purification process to become a priest was called Baraka in the ancient Egypt. The high priest, Jason, was a special man with knowledge and power that was supernatural. He was an expert and very knowledgeable about the secrets and mysticism of the pyramids, which was knowledge that could only come from the very high places. He possessed this knowledge because he was a pure Vatasol. He knew the secrets of creation and the secrets of the divine self of each individual. He was very proficient and had a very wide knowledge in technology. He was able to see right through people, X-ray vision, energetically, physically. He liked young children for amusement, especially little boys, something that was accepted at the time. He used me for his sexual needs, which damaged me internally and emotionally until the day I died. However, I still felt admiration, love, and closeness to him. He did not have children of his own. Glad to hear. I, too, chose not to have children. Instead, through my spiritual work, I chose to serve myself and the general public by connecting to the Creator in any way that I could. I was busy doing spiritual work as a spiritual leader for my entire life. I am disappointed that the work I performed was related to religion as well. This was because the work I performed later on in life was under the control of the new Jewish Hebrew leaders in the land of Israel. Getting back to my childhood and my first incarnation, I was taken from my parents' home at the age of 8. This caused me a lot of sadness and fears that I had to deal with for a very long time. I succeeded in overcoming them only after I reached the phase of consecration, the Baraka. My father, Amram, who is apparently Rabbi AA in his current reincarnation, who is the holy Rabbi Alazair al-Frate. Anyway, he did everything that he could to be near me. It amazes me that I finally have permission to write his name in full. I was his only son. He hid his identity as a Hebrew slave and advanced into the Pharaoh's palace in a very short period of time. He became very close to the Pharaoh. He gained his trust and became his chief assistant. This provided him and my mother with the ability to be closer to me. My father changed his name from Ram Ram to Amar, and my mother changed her name from Rina to Rona, Rachel, in my current reincarnation. They changed their names in order to hide their true identity as Hebrews. My connection with my mother was never very special nor strong. She died when she was 40 years old, relatively young for those times. From what I can remember, she died from what I understood to be sadness. My father died when I was 180 years old. He was born on the 10th of Teshriel in the year 2375 and died on the 5th of Adar in the year 2555, according to the Hebrew calendar, or 1385 to 1205 BC, according to the Gregorian calendar. However, being an unusual being, an entity with secret supernatural powers, he, in fact, never died. We'll go on a little bit more. Amram. My father, my guide, and my rabbi came to this world in his first incarnation as the third son of Adam and Eve. Well, didn't expect that, did you? His name was Shet. He was born on the 10th of Teshri on the year 130 or 3630 BC and lived 912 years. He lived several parallel lives as well. Overall, he lived 110 reincarnations until January 28th, 2014, the 27th of Shavat in the year 5774. On that day, he did not reincarnate. Instead, he moved towards his final destiny, and he is currently in the pyramid star. My father, my teacher, my rabbi was born and reborn, but never died. He simply lived parallel lives and moved between different reincarnations. For example, the reincarnation as Shet of 912 years, the reincarnations of Amram of 180 years, the reincarnations of Rabbi AA 424 years. Some of his reincarnations are somewhat documented in the stories of the Old Testament. He experienced 110 reincarnations in 5,644 years with parallel lives, sometimes experiencing 10 different reincarnations simultaneously. Rabbi A.A.'s last reincarnation was here on earth, which started on the 18th of the Tammuz in the year 5350, according to the Hebrew calendar, or 1590, according to the Gregorian calendar. He was born in a little village in Iraq, not far from Baghdad, which was called Kinif at the time. The holy rabbi left to the pyramid star at the age of 424 years on January 28th, 2014. He left from the same field in New Jersey that he and I used to fly in and out using different UFOs, and from the same field and their occupants during our work together. He spoke 8 languages fluently. He could also speak with animals and aliens. He knew Shavat Hurak, which is translated from Hebrew as the language of the spirit world. He also knew Aramaic. The fact that Rabbi A had the knowledge of these languages only offers a mere glimpse at the true power and consciousness that Rabbi A possessed. Looking back at it, I realized that he was the architect of my life story, and he was also the architect of the history of the Jewish people, and probably other nations as well. He is a special soul who was chosen carefully for divine work. He was present in all 69 of my reincarnations, even when I reincarnated as an animal, an alligator, and not a human being. Well, that's special. For those who are wondering, yes, I have been part of the reptilian family before. No, I'm not part of the reptilian family now. No, I do not have the ability to shapeshift. And yes, I have seen, experienced, and worked with people who have the ability to shapeshift. Ever since my last meeting with Rabbi AA, something happened that brought me to a new level of consciousness. This new level of consciousness and awareness has given me different understandings and insights that help me reflect on my past, including different reincarnations that sharpened my memory and caused me to remember different reincarnations in more detail. For example, in one of my reincarnations, I was an eagle ruled by the shamanic Indians in North America. The shamanic Indian is present day only in my current reincarnation. Oh, excuse me, is Orle. All my other friends, acquaintances, and loved ones from the year 2448, according to the Hebrew calendar 1312, and the other calendar, were also part of the reincarnation in the form of different animals, such as snake, a bear, a hawk, black and white, wild cat, horses, wolves, female wolves, buffalo, black and white dogs, and more. All the animals were controlled by the Indian shaman who used animals and plants for treatments and healing. A significant part of the treatment was performed with the use of psychedelic mushrooms, psilocybin, for different healing purposes. The shaman's use of psilocybin on humans and animals gave him the spiritual power to control both humans and animals. In order to strengthen himself and his power over man, animal, and beast, he made sure that the psilocybin would be part of their daily diet in very small quantities. He would administer higher quantities of psilocybin when they were sick in order to heal them and even save their lives. The Indian shaman was known as Ram from the Metis tribe who had been wandering around the Canadian-US border for centuries. Ram was a strong, tough, high-blooded, bloodthirsty man with no compassion for those around him. He was also the chief shaman of his tribe and the ruler of the tribe. Wow. He ruled his tribe and animals with a strong and powerful hand. It would be interesting to understand why this reincarnation comes back to me again and again. All right, well, we'll just cut it off there. So got your interest? Huh? I mean, you got to admit to it, it's a good story. And quite frankly, I think it has a lot of legitimacy as we go through it. Yeah, it gets more interesting. Lavera, see you later. Hello, Posey. How are you doing? Hey, Susie Q. Good to see you're staying. So, yeah, talking about the mushrooms. Yeah. Great to cook with. I know that. They do add some flavor. I'll have to say that. Great, Bonnie. I tell you, it is an interesting story, Charlene. It is. Yeah. I mean, a closed mind never sees the possibilities. Why? Because it's closed. All right. Well, if you like it, let me know what you need to know about this document over here. Tune in on the Steiger perspective. We'll get that. But if you want to get a preview of it, let me know. All right, folks. Much love to you. Lucky Stone, good to see you, brother. Hey, Jennifer, how you doing? Gullible Travails, good to see you. Man, gotten the old talk about the mushrooms. Golden light and unity conscious is the answer for beautiful afterlife. Ron, I'd agree with that. I have not a problem. Beloved abstract, you might be onto something there. But no doubt, in the vein of Timothy Leary, if you ever read some of his works. But you know what? Let's keep an open mind. I mean, you know, who knows? You know, still trying to get an appointment to actually do some regression hypnosis. I'm convinced that we all have had. I never was before, but you know, one lifetime isn't enough. That's all I got to say. All right, folks, see y'all tomorrow. Have a great, beautiful day. You're beautiful spirit beings. Thank you. I have a sense many of us in previous incarnations have been together before. I sense that. I could be wrong, but I just sense that. All right. Bosto to you all, and much favor, much healing, and much love. And we'll see y'all tomorrow.